Um,
And we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another reselling show, the Christmas Extravaganza show. The
Well,
last show before Christmas that we have this year as we wrap up 2021. We also wrap up Q4. And before we get going, ladies and gentlemen, to my side over here is my brother. And I'll let him introduce himself. Brother, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Um, excited. Ending Q4, getting into the holiday season. Well, I mean, we've been in the holiday season, but getting closer to the pinnacle of the holiday season, right? For those who don't know, I'm Oscar El Cubanaso, and I'm a entrepreneur. I dabble in a couple things, investments, reselling is one of my main side hustles, and it's been a good year. Ready to say goodbye to 2021.
Yep.
Not that the year for me was particularly good, but it's ending in a good way. Good news in business, good news in family,
Yep.
blessings everywhere now towards the end, and excited to go into 2022.
I agree, man. It's funny. We both had some, uh, you know, we had some crazy stuff this year. We had ups and downs and everything. And you know, Q4, like you said, I mean, Q4 was very, it's funny, when you take the last three Q4s of how different they were and stuff, you know, last year's was absolutely, ridiculous, and I think, like, as you and I had talked before in the past, I, for me personally, I was hoping to do about half of what I did because I figured, with more people not being home, that, that it wouldn't be as busy and stuff. And I'm right around there. I'm about 50% of where I was last year, which is what I expected.
Mhm.
But before we get going, let's go ahead. We have some people popping in. Uh, Pete, how you doing, Pete? Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Money from Mars. Thank you so much for being here. Uh, Jennifer, hey, miss you. Sorry, I haven't been around that much in a lot of other channels. We haven't, we've been a little bit hit and miss with our show. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. Um, but like I was saying, Q4 was what I thought it would be for me based off of what I could find to sell. Because we talked over the last few weeks and everything about how you go into Walmart's and the shelves were pretty bare, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's like Santa Claus came and he left all the toys, at the back on the loading dock for him, and then they loaded up with everything, So
Yep.
from that standpoint, it was good, but from a reselling standpoint, if you're doing like, I haven't jumped into the wholesale stuff yet and trying to get that type of stuff, So a lot of my stuff, is still, RA, and for someone who relies on RA, when toys show up, 10 days, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks before Christmas, it's hard to go ahead and, to really stack up a lot for fear that there's so all of a sudden all the stores have them now. No one's going to go online to buy them. They're going to go to the damn store and buy them, right?
Mhm.
So I had to, pick and choose, what the best, what the couple things were. What was cool is some of the toys that I was selling, over the summer, uh, and then those listings got shut down. Some of those listings, right around Thanksgiving or just a little bit before Thanksgiving, started opening back up again for people. So I was able to, get some of those toys that I had been sitting on, for a while. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? and I was able to at least, do, FBM with Amazon, and be maintain busyness and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, you remember when we were kind of nervous because we didn't know what the FBM requirements were gonna be.
Yeah, we
I'm gonna
talked
tell you,
about a lot.
yeah, 'cause we were coming on here. We are saying it's like we're still no word from Amazon. We don't know if what the minimum requirements to sell FBM during the holiday season are going to be. But that's something that I did different this year compared to last year. I mean, me too. I was probably like around the 50% mark from what I did last year. But the main difference that and this is not anything that Amazon did or that something that I noticed any type of different um buying practice from consumers, anything like that, if where they're waiting the last minute or buying earlier on. Is we saw all over the news that everybody was suggesting to buy early on, specifically for that reason, because we saw a lot of stores that were bare and other that were
Yeah.
packed full. But what I did different was last year I was all FBM, and this year I was all FBA. So it's something that, remember, I said that I wanted to kind of automate everything,
Yeah.
and I was actually I got to be honest, I was a little bit worried that if I was sending all these stuff FBA, was everything was going to sell, because we all worry about whether Amazon's going to be on the listing with 750,000 units of the same 24 case pack that you have, right? So but there is one item that I sold all of my FBA, but then quickly I placed another order for so I can put it on FBM, and I'm still sitting on the FBM on that one. But I can't really complain because I pretty much almost sold out of every single FBA item that I sent in to Amazon,
That's awesome.
which it was amazing. It was
That is
amazing.
great.
I'm still sitting on the balance, and as I see that number pass above, normally throughout the year, I don't know if anybody else does this, but when you see that your available balance on Amazon is over like $100, request that money. That's normally what I do. But like this morning it said $250, and I just waited, and then now later on in the day it went up to $500. So I requested that, because I got to get that money on this side because we're getting close to the end of the year, and I want to spend it before the year's over. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm grateful that everything played out the way that it did. Everything played out. I can't really complain. Everything was great. And main difference for me also, aside from me being FBA this year versus FBM last year, also is the amount of work that I had to do was significantly less because I planned and I sent out my shipments, on time. Since I want to say probably the first weeks of October, the last weeks of September, I started sending in boxes, probably like two to four boxes every week. And come December, I was already done.
Yeah.
I was pretty much done.
See, at least for you and your stuff mostly wholesale this year, or were you more RA, OA? Where
No,
did you sit?
I gotta be honest. I did well, just what we talked about. Those items from Five and Below. That's the only RA I did this year. That's it. I mean, not this year because January of this year also was a lot of RA.
Yeah.
Right. But at some point throughout the year, everything for me was just buying from a wholesaler, and putting it on, sending it to FBA. That's it. Very, very, very little. And of course, the other sites, specialty items, limited editions, things like that, but that's online arbitrage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But very, very, very minimal RA this year.
Yeah. I like I said, and like we've talked about, I need to turn that corner if Amazon is going to become more of staple for me. You know what I mean? Like if it's really gonna, if it's really gonna be the staple, the more consistent, money producer, I have to, definitely, get into more of the wholesale side and start looking and getting into that type of stuff. We had talked about, replenishables and some things like that you could go ahead and find and everything. And I've been trying to watch a little more videos on, like people that do FBA just to see what some of the things that they do. And it's interesting because there's still a lot of RA FBA people out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think what I think from a standpoint of is though that when you think about that kind of content, they're showing you the hunt, right? Most people that are doing the big wholesale stuff, there's no hunt for them to show you, because if they show you the hunt, then they show you their source, right? I mean, everybody knows about Walmart and Target and whatever other store
Broader
you want to talk
general.
about.
Yeah.
Kohl's, Home Depot,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, Office Max, Office Depot, Staples, all those big box places, right? Everybody knows of those places.
And Lowe's. You can't forget about Lowe's.
Yeah, like I said, most people, there are a lot of places people will go. There are some people won't go.
Some people won't go to Lowe's, right?
Some people will not go to Lowe's. But so, like, I think I think that's why you see a lot more of that content, on YouTube, right? Because again, someone who's doing wholesale is not going to sit there and go, "Hey, let me jump on my screen and show you what websites I go to where I get my stuff."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, I think that it's like different levels. I mean, for the amount of time that I've been reselling, I think that in the beginning everybody starts off with either garage sales or retail arbitrage. But and there's nothing wrong with those two things, because you see amazing margins doing both of those things, right? I mean, a little bit better on nothing can compare to the returns that you get at garage sales, right? But retail arbitrage sometimes too. But that is really only going to get you so far. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not like you have the manpower to retail arbitrage your whole state. Okay. I mean, I've done the Tri-County area and I've gone as far as I can possibly go chasing one item.
Yep.
But then again, I'm only going to be successful at one item. So therefore, my capacities are limited to that one item, right?
Right.
So to me, I think that the next step, and this is why I held off on retail arbitrage and started focusing more on sourcing from wholesalers, so I can take this part of my business to the next level. It's I think it's important for anybody that starts off in doing retail arbitrage, or garage sales, if they really want to scale up, to consider getting finding suppliers for whatever the niche may be. It's like the following step, once you've already learned everything about reselling. You got your shipping, how to manage your money. Is important for your business. You're sourcing retail arbitrage, but now what's next?
Yeah. No, you're 100% correct. And I think, you make a good point there, but I remember, when I've done a couple times when I have, said, hey, I've taken a full day, I've taken a day off from work, wake up at 5:30 in the morning to be, standing at the first store before the doors open, right? Sitting in the parking lot, waiting for that door to open, and then getting out and walking as they're ready to go. And, the truth is to, I was trying to hit like 14 or 15 stores in a day. But the only way I could do that was I was basically going only for 3 items. So it was go here, look, no, go there, look, go there, look. Like, don't look anyplace else, because of trying to get to every single store in one day. It was the way it had to be done and stuff. And I think you're right from that standpoint. When you think about a lot of the other things that you could do, forget the driving time and everything, right? But when you're when you're limiting yourself, you're you go to a store. If you're only looking for one or two, maybe even three items, and that's the whole goal, and the goal is to get to as many stores, you're going to strike out in a lot of stores. That's why I think I definitely need to, switch, concentrate, and figure out what to do, from a wholesale standpoint, and then. The other thing I think, for me, I have to look at is, from a category standpoint, I think, you still should, you know, it's still a part of me that really only wants to do categories that I like. And I think from that standpoint, you tend to, I probably myself, will have left money on, walked away from good money because it's like, I don't really want to mess with that. I don't know that stuff or that other thing. I think it's a mindset of looking more at money coming in, money going out, and turning that as fast as possible, and become, for lack of better words, product blind.
Yeah, not focused on the category that you're selling, but maybe more focused on overall what consumers are buying.
Right.
So
Excuse me.
I
Right.
think that that's kind of what my focus is going into 2022. I've been a toy seller forever, right? Been selling toys forever. Not forever, but you guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
But there has been occasional other things that I'd sell, but I kind of I'm starting to pick and look at different categories. And my the way I'm going into these new categories is by finding a brand, right, analyzing all of the different products this brand has within this specific categories, and find which are the best sellers there, right? Which are the ones that are worth my time, considering the return, and then kind of moving to another brand within that same category, and finding which are the good sellers there, and then going on, before I move to another category, have this one, decent, that I
Right.
have a number of replenishable items, right, before I move into another one. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing going into 2022.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm looking at when I start to do that and I start to research, the other thing that I want to do from that standpoint is, be conscious of shipping cycles, right? Shipping cycles from the wholesaler to me, shipping cycles from me into Amazon, so that I can this way then, if I get in the buy box and I see that I'm sticking there, I want to be able to make sure I can get inventory in fast enough to where I can, continue to, bounce in and out of that buy box, rather than all of a sudden, going completely dry out of stock. And you figure the process from wholesaler to be able to being sold on Amazon, is 4 weeks, let's say, of being out of stock 4 weeks, and basically, like disappearing from the listing and then jumping back on. So that's another piece that I definitely need to.
I can share with my experience on that. So from what I've seen is that I have no problems with the wholesalers shipping out. Zero problems. They ship out fast. It arrives on time. I said, let me just the last 10 orders that I've placed from whatever wholesaler, all 10 of my last orders have arrived within a week. My last 10 wholesale orders, they've all arrived within a week.
Wow.
So I have another one arriving tomorrow, and the order I placed Monday. Was it Monday? I think it was Monday. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Monday. I'll tell you exactly right now. Just confirm, so we can know exactly, what the turnaround was. Okay, so it shipped at 8:49 this morning. It's arriving tomorrow. Okay, so the wholesalers that have, that they're established wholesalers, they move product. I mean, they're they have, the logistics down packed.
Right.
The only variable that we're gonna have as Amazon sellers, if we're on FBA, is Amazon. Amazon is the variable.
True.
Okay, because we can go ahead and we can ship it out. We know more or less what UPS shipping times are across the USA from the experience we've had shipping through UPS. Now it's Amazon's receiving process that's going to be a variable, because I've had stuff that has been, I have an FBA box that's been sitting still since December 2nd. It's checked in, but it hasn't received. It says zero have my items have been received. So, and I understand it's because of, the holiday season or whatnot, but that during normal times of the year should be much faster. But that's why I say it's a variable. It's going to depend, on how many other orders or other shipments they have to unload. So, it's always kind of, to keep your things in stock. If you're able to, have a good guesstimate of how long it'll take for your product to arrive to you or your third party logistics, or if you're having your wholesaler ship directly to Amazon for you, you have a guesstimate of your end. But the question mark is always going to be on Amazon's end. And depending on how you have your FBA shipping set, if that's going to go into FC transfer, that can take another week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's you know it's a lot to try to calculate.
Yeah, and the whole piece of right from the wholesaler to Amazon is intriguing to me. I guess that's as long as you're okay with commingling, right? Because I would assume most wholesalers won't put your SKU number on.
No, but you can have it set up so that Amazon receives it and they will label it for you. So that's also a possibility. But depending on what it is that you're selling, it might not matter whether it's commingled or not. Me personally, I try to stay away from commingling because I don't want to have any issues with counterfeit item, and I don't know if anybody else is selling counterfeit items, and Amazon doesn't pick up on it. So I
yeah.
I
Yeah,
label,
I didn't think about that part.
yeah. So that's why I label everything. I do my own labeling and everything. Once I'm have more stuff that it's above and beyond my capabilities to label my own things, and I would consider Amazon labeling.
See, it's funny. I didn't think of the counterfeit part.
Mhm.
My fear was not knowing what condition some of these other boxes may have been, sent in, right? What the condition was.
Yeah,
And all
well,
of a sudden, they get a box is ripped, or, a corner is a little crushed and stuff like that. But, but like I said, from the standpoint of, the counterfeit part, to me, I think, is actually a larger issue, like I said, and I didn't even think about that.
yeah. I mean, um if you're actually using Amazon the way it's meant to be used, you don't have to worry that much about counterfeit, because obviously you have the invoices and purchase orders to back up that you're not selling counterfeit, and you have a letter of authorization to sell a specific brand on Amazon.
True.
You don't have to worry so much about that counterfeit. But still, you can get a counterfeit and your account gets shut down in a heartbeat, and that could, significantly, you know, um, damage, your account and your sales. So, that's I just prefer not to have that kind of headache and have to, supply the documentation to say, hey, this isn't counterfeit. What are you talking about?
Right.
So I try to put it all together. My inventory is my inventory, and I don't want my inventory getting mixed up with anybody else's inventory, because I know what I send in, and I know that I package it well, and I know that I don't send stuff that's crushed. So, but also, Amazon does receive, since they're doing receiving. I know on the receiving end, if they have items that are marked as new, and they're damaged, that will go into investigation. You know what I mean? That won't actually be put into the inventory until it goes through a separate process of investigation. I know that they'll check, was this warehouse damaged, right? And then through the whole
Yeah.
reconciliation process, if it was, so Amazon also has their little procedures in place. But yeah, no, definitely, I would not want to send in anything coming, but that's just me.
No,
But
I agree. I actually had a hard time with the last shipment I sent in. I had to go through, had to go through some hoops to get all of my stuff to print, to get, SKU labels on everything. I had to, change some stuff and everything to go work backwards to go ahead and get everything to print out, because I had like 3 other products that I wanted to send in. They were like, manufactured barcode's good enough, and I was like, nope, not for me, it isn't.
yeah, I mean, Amazon will put that suggestion, but you can still label your stuff.
Yeah. But like I said, I mean, that's I mean, that whole piece. That's what I need to definitely get better at and move forward to, is to really look from a wholesale point of view and see about it. And then, I mean, buying a case of something and then telling Amazon it's a case pack, and hopefully you keep that together. So you basically just unpack it, put your SKU labels on, put it right back in the same box, put new labels on, and send it out.
Yeah, and here's a tip. Amazon doesn't know what the case packs are. The case packs are what you say they are. So let's say you buy a case pack of 12, right, of a specific product, or 24 of a specific product, but all 12 don't fit in the 25 by 25 by 25 that you want to send in, right? But 6 of them do, for example. You can create your case pack to be 6, and that's your case pack. You know what I mean? So you can just automatically have that there saved as your case pack, and every time you receive that item or you want to replenish it, it's saved there as the case pack.
Okay.
So it's a template. So yeah, it's a lot of things. I mean, Amazon, from when I first got on it to now, they are constantly improving their site. And I know a lot of people talk very bad about Amazon. Sometimes I do too, because I get upset, because we don't always get the support that we need as sellers. But they are making a lot of significant improvements. For a lot of people, the IPI was a huge issue. If your inventory performance falls below a certain threshold, you're penalized, right? But Amazon has seen that and noticed that, and they're reducing that threshold now. And then they expanded. I think it was, at first it was 30 days. They expanded it to 90 days before your new items actually affect your IPI. So they've been, doing improvements and kind of making it a little bit easier for the sellers to at least sell and find out what works for them in that aspect, right? Out of their inventory, and at the same time, improving on their platform. So it's
no, I mean, it's funny. My IPI is, it's going south. It's going south. It's going south in a hurry, but it's going south in a hurry because I've been doing mostly FBM.
Yeah, I mean, when you take everything out of FBA, that goes straight down. And I'm gonna tell you, when I've had mine go straight down, and then I don't have a single thing, is that it's crazy. It has to be problems with the glitches on the site, and I don't have anything FBA, and then I have an IPI of 900, and it's like, I don't have anything. How do I have an IPI? And then the next day it says you don't have. It says it's a little dash, right? The IPI.
Yeah.
So it's glitches in their system. It's just technical stuff. But yeah, the IPI is going down south for me too, because I can't. It's basically my inventory. I sold my whole inventory for Christmas pretty much. I counted my units. I got 61 units in 15 SKUs I got 61 units in FBA, and I'm talking about I had hundreds of them, and they're all gone, which is fantastic. So now the restock inventory performance indicator,
Yep.
that's the one that's going down in the yellow and affecting my IPI. But honestly, I'm really not worried about it because as long as I continue to send in and make sure I delete my ones that I'm not restocking, so next Monday it doesn't affect my IPI, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean that's the that's the thing. You just gotta. I mean, you feed the beast, it works out for you, right? I mean, it's
That is the golden rule right there. As
and
long as you're feeding the beast.
yeah, and the truth is I mean, it's to me, it's the same thing with with eBay and stuff. I mean, my eBay was crawling, or even slower than crawling, through a few months, and then come November, start a listing more, Next thing you know, boom, 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 everything, you start getting, more sales, and stuff like that. So I mean, I think it's true on both, on both platforms, and probably even most platforms. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I don't know how much I'm gonna try and expand to a lot of other platforms. I mean, I know there's ways you could do it easily through software and everything, but some of the stuff just. I mean, I don't know. I guess you have to look at it from the standpoint of it all costs money. If it's money that can make you money, then go ahead and keep doing it. But it's just all of a sudden adding another monthly fee, and it's like, oh crap.
No, and you spread yourself too thin. And it's like I'm gonna say, like the most important lesson that I've learned is not to spread yourself too thin on anything. And it doesn't apply to just two platforms. If you've got more than one side hustle, more than one business, you know what I mean, you can't spread yourself too thin. I think the important thing is to focus on one, get that one working for you well before you move in and consider moving to another platform, whether it's your own website or if it's Amazon, not specifically in that order, but focus on the first one first before you consider going to another platform. That's just my opinion. I think that I've been doing Amazon and eBay both at the same time for a long time. I had Mercari in there as well. One time I had Poshmark also, and I started eliminating Poshmark. I still got stuff on Mercari, you know what I mean, but they're backpacks, you know what I mean. That's not going to sell until school year starts next time around, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just there. If I get a notification that something sells, fantastic, but I'm not focusing my time, my energy on it. I'm focusing my time and energy on Amazon because that's right now what's working well for me. And once I have that automated, then then maybe I can consider something else. But it probably won't be another platform. If anything, it'll probably be another business, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree from that standpoint. I mean, like I said, how some people do it. I mean, oh, I have Shopify, I got Etsy, I got Poshmark, I got ThreadUp. This boom. I mean, it's and then like how just how do you just the paperwork alone of just knowing when something sells to jump on the other sites and delete it all. I mean, it's just I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people do it, man. I do not know how people do it.
Yeah, and remember that the people that they use these different softwares, to cross post on different platforms, or if you got one centralized that's listing to the rest of them, you need to just load your items on one and then click something here to load them on this site. There's a lot of cons doing that. There may be pros, but there's a lot of cons. So what if it doesn't take it off of one platform? You know what I mean? You double sell it, you're gonna have to cancel. That's gonna affect your metrics. And at the same time, each one of these tools has a different cost. So really what you're doing is, you're adding to your overhead, and you might not be getting the returns to justify have spent that overhead in the first place. That's
Right.
that's
And you know what I mean. Like I was looking at one, one of the cross listing things, and they have 3 levels. But the truth of the matter is, I mean, level 1 is a waste. I don't even know why when you look at what the features are of it, it ain't worth it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Level 2, okay. Really, that biggest level is the one that most people are going to want, because of what it offers and everything. But it was like 70, or I think it was like $70 a month, and people go, well, think about it though. If that gets you, another $100 in sales, or $200, I'm thinking, okay, but the effort that I have to do, because the software doesn't remove it from all the websites. So if I uplist it to 6 sites and it sells on one, I have to go in and delist the other 5 sites. And all I got to do is, be on an airplane for work, or, be traveling, driving, from here to North Carolina to one of my, offices that I got to go to, and and it sells 3 times on 3 different platforms. You know what I'm saying? And then what? To your point, exactly, right? And it's like, okay, then because then it's playing the game. It's like, okay, which website can I, which platform can I sell it for that I'll get the least damage done to my account? And that's the thing. That's why the whole that's why I like Bonanza. Bonanza, it's, I don't know, $200 maybe in sales a year that I get from it, but I don't have to do anything. If it sells on Bonanza, it automatically shows up in my ended listing folder on, sell on this eBay Seller Hub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got the integration.
Yeah,
They got
automatically integrated, Bing Bang. So I don't care. That's the easy one. All I gotta do is remember to just go in there and update my booth every now and again, just to go ahead and keep it fresh.
mm-hmm.
From that standpoint. But
Yeah,
but I don't know. But it's good. So getting back to Q4 and stuff, you're like me, right? We both went ahead and did uh less this Q4 than last Q4. But are you happy with it? Did you at least did Q4 go as you expected it to go?
absolutely. Same as you. I got 50% of what I did last year.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly 50%. Unless the 61 items I have in there, I'll be
Yep.
at 100%. But I got exactly 60%, 50% of what I did last year. So it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And a fraction of the work, honestly, a fraction of the work, because in the middle of November last year up until the middle of January of this year, I was nonstop. I had I have a Dodge Durango, right? My Dodge Durango, from the front seat all the way to the back, filled with packages on a couple occasions last year. And that was because I had so many shipments. These was over the weekend on Mondays, right? Wait till Sunday and I ship everything out. So I
Right.
had a truck full, but it's a lot of work. I was here for like 4 hours boxing stuff up, and it was all the same item, right? It was all one item I was pretty much chasing last year all over. Nobody heard from me. Nobody heard from Alex either.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work, and I, during holidays, that's what I was doing. It was, and that's where my mind was focused. And at the same time, we also got to consider that we're family men, and this is holidays. It's time to be with family. So I didn't do that this year. I'm not going to do retail arbitrage tomorrow. Last year on the 23rd, I was still doing retail arbitrage. The
Yep.
24th, maybe I didn't do it because that's Noche Buena for us. That's Christmas Eve. But 26, I was back at it again, and I'm not going to do that this year. It was a fraction of the work that I did last year, and with that comes a fraction of the expenses because gas, tolls, wear and tear on your vehicle,
Yep.
eating, you got to eat when you're out doing, out on the road, so it was less expensive. So I say that even though it was 50%, 50 to 60% of what I did last year, the time and time that I get to spend with my money, with my family, is worth it.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I think this,
Worth
the same thing, the same thing for me from that standpoint. Yeah, it was those couple of items, and stuff like that. I mean, this year I did some things a little different in that the items that I was selling, I pre-packed a lot. Like I would just say, okay, like if I got on a roll, if I had a whole bunch of orders come in, and I'd say, you know what, okay, all my orders are done. You know what, for the next hour, I'm just going to keep, boxing, bagging, whatever it is, all these, and have them ready to go. And I started to go ahead and get ahead. And then as the orders came in, it was just shipping label, slap, 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 boom. I'm ready to go. I wasn't, struggling or wondering, holy cow, I got to get this one out before the post office closes tonight or anything along those lines, right? I was able to, stay ahead this year a lot more than I did last year. So I did that different. I think the other thing, for me also, was I don't, I also don't think again, I think, because I was doing a lot more arbitrage like you were last year, spending a lot more time, out on the road, go ahead and, work all day, done, grab a quick bite to eat, and then say, hey, okay, I'll see you later. And then come home, at 11 o'clock, when the stores would close, and then go, oh crap, okay, I got 15 orders while I was out. I got to pack those up and stay up till, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then, get up again, get back up again and do the whole thing, over and everything. So, not doing that. I mean, like I look at this week, I only went out once. And honestly, the only reason why I went out to look for anything was, my wife had to return some stuff to Walmart. And I was like, okay, hey, while you go there, I'm going to go look at my normal spots. And that was really all I've done this week. That's the only RA that I have, that I've done this week.
Yeah.
I haven't gone out of my, I haven't gone out of my way to do it and stuff, and but like I said, I think it was a good thing. I'm not discouraged by the numbers. Then I hit the numbers that I wanted to hit.
Yeah, and then the holiday season was a success for both of us.
Yeah.
It's and it's good. When you set a goal, you have a target, you meet your target. You know what I mean, and you do it in a way that you don't overexert yourself. It's perfect. In my opinion.
Yep.
I mean, there's people that are probably still out right now doing retail arbitrage, and that's fine. You know what I mean? If that's what works for them, that's what they enjoy doing. That's fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong. Even though I've changed my business over to, kind of a more, not to say simplified, but a more consistent model, right? Purchasing from suppliers, wholesalers, manufacturers, etc. Doesn't mean that if there's, not a hot selling item, that I'm not gonna go after it. I mean, if there's something that's like with the velocity of from last year,
Yep.
then I'll be right back at it.
Oh yeah.
That's it's gonna be very rare. It's not gonna be. I'm not gonna be hitting up clears. I'm not gonna be scanning stuff in stores. Doing retail arbitrage. I won't. If I go, it's gonna be because I already know what I'm looking for. I've already done my research, and and I'll go out that way. But still, with a little bit, this is just me. I'm speaking for myself. Being completely honest, it's just with more moderation. Because what I did last year was insane. I hit 44 stores in one day. All right, and from store to store, I hear the phone going off. That it's nonstop. So I'm like, oh wow. I get to one store, the other store is 5 minutes away. I already sold out of what I got in the last store, and it was like that throughout the holiday season. So I was out there.
It was doing so much as I did, and I to me, it was. I mean, I did way more than I ever expected. Last December and January, because I count January in there also because stuff was still flying in January.
Right. Yeah. My January this year was amazing too, and it was rolled over from December last year.
Yeah, and the thing is that I look at now, like a couple times when I told my wife, "Hey, I'm going out. I'm just gonna hit, I'm gonna hit a couple. I got stuff that has been selling. I want to see if they have replenished, so I could replenish." And it was good. It was not, I didn't feel the pressure that I felt last year. Like if I didn't get to a store, I was like, oh, I'm going to go there tomorrow. Everything's going to be gone. I'm going to get nothing. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like last year, there was a lot more pressure last year because like you said, we were nonstop as you were going. Like I had the same things happening. I mean, I remember my wife and I, we went up to North Carolina for a weekend to hang out with our friends. On the way up, we stopped at a couple of stores. On the way back, we stopped at a couple of stores, and on the way back, I just said, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and list this stuff," and I forgot how many items I listed. I probably listed maybe a total quantity of maybe like 50 items and stuff. And it's a 4-hour ride home. At 4 hours, I was like, long weekend. We were going to get home at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm like, unpack the car, relax, and then all of a sudden, bing, 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 bing. Half of my items sold on the ride home. So when I got home, when I thought I was going to relax, I had to then sit there and pack up 20 items to bring to the post office the next day. So, and I was like, so it's like, it was fun. It's all cool like that, but it's like, okay.
Yeah. It's,
I mean, so, I mean, from that, I think from that standpoint, like I said, definitely this Q4 was a lot less pressure once we got, got going. In September and October, I wasn't necessarily feeling pressure. I was more concerned because of a lot of the supply that I had built up. At that point, I kept getting, those listings shut down and everything. And it's like, holy cow, what am I going to do? And,
yeah.
But then again, like I said, every single one of them except for one magically reopened, up on Amazon, like Thanksgiving week. And I was like,
That's because Amazon didn't have any.
right. You're probably right.
I guarantee it.
So then I was like, okay, cool. And then boom, 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 they started selling everything and so on and so forth. So like I said, I mean, it's been good and stuff. But like I said, I think what I've learned from watching you and talking to you, every week and stuff like that, and seeing that is that the wholesale way, the manufacturer, that way is it's definitely a lot. It's definitely a lot more of what I want to do. The more of the direction that I want to go. To you though, I don't want to lose the RA part, because I think you got to remember also, if you're going to sell on eBay stuff, if you're going to sell on eBay too, the RA stuff is still good enough to go there and stuff like that. Along with adding in, I mean,
even your wholesale stuff is also works on eBay as well.
Yeah.
I got some of the product that I told you that I'm sitting still on some. I still got like at least 18 units of that one left, right? I sent in a bunch to Amazon. All of them sold FBA. I placed another order. I received it probably like the first week of December, so probably like around the 5th or the 6th, but I'd already sold out my FBA before that. But I just listed them on both. I put it on eBay, and and I obviously had them FBM on Amazon, and they still sold on eBay. So it's you can still do a lot once you have a new source for your products. And I think that that's the correct way. I'm not saying that retail arbitrage is wrong, A lot of people will tell you that, oh, retail arbitrage is wrong, because what happens once this and that, you get, Amazon requests some type of documentation and you can't supply, your account is done. They're absolutely right in that aspect. But I think the correct way is for you to be sourcing from an authorized distributor, because you can purchase from a distributor and it doesn't mean that's an authorized distributor.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to be careful with that, because if you got to turn in something, you list something, you're not ungated, you don't have to turn in any type of invoice, but you list something that you bought from a distributor that's not an authorized distributor, and you have to supply some type of invoice, some type of documentation on the product, and that distributor is not able to provide it for you, is because they're not an authorized distributor. So I think the best way to find distributors is two ways. Is one, look in your area, and then contact the brands. And if you're able to buy from them directly, fantastic. If not, at least they can point you in the right direction. And that's probably the best piece of advice that I've given on YouTube.
Yep. No, you're right. You're 100% correct in that whole that whole thinking, that whole processing, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, definitely the way to go. And like I said, I mean, to your point, you see people that do RA, and they do well at it. It's their full-time job, right? A lot of people that I see, RA is their full-time job, right? They are full-time RA, FBA, Amazon people
with 15-hour days sometimes. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah.
I mean, there are some people out there. There's a channel that I watch. The guy puts out some decent content, and
El Cubanaso,
yeah, he does too. No, different guy.
When put out
But
content.
he lives. He bought a van. He bought like a small. He bought a van, and then he converted it, added cabinets, added match, so on and so add everything, and he lives in it. He does RA, FBA. All his stuff is RA, and he drives around the whole country. He sleeps in his van. Now he sleeps in either like Walmart parking lots or or campgrounds.
He probably has his business registered to like a virtual office.
Yeah, I assume he has to.
Mm-hmm.
A PO box somewhere. I mean, I would guess.
Yeah. Or UPS. Yeah.
What that's what he does. I was watching a couple of his videos this morning, and one video he was in Virginia. Then the next video he was in North Carolina. Then he was in Georgia. Then he was in Alabama. And then he's like, at the end of the video, he's like, okay, yeah, we're in Panama City now. And he and his wife has a job where she works, remotely. Yeah. So she, that's what they do. They drive all around, and they're heading out west. Their next thing is they're going to get on I-10 and start to go I-10 across the country.
Yeah, and as I said before, sometimes doing retail arbitrage, you do get very good returns.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I mean, for eBay, that must work. That can work fantastically, and it's not likely that you'll have any issues doing that on eBay. But on Amazon, you possibly could.
Yep.
There's IPs and there's counterfeits and POA, and it's.
I think one of the things that he does is that he is not a he's a full store RA person. So he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't concentrate on just sporting goods or women's clothes or health and beauty, right? He dabbles in all
the categories,
all of the categories and stuff.
Health and beauty, home, sports, recreational activities, outdoors, and all that. Yeah.
Like he looks for, he'll look at clearance at certain, like when he was up in the Northeast and stuff, you know, or I'm sorry, the Mid-Atlantic, so the middle of the country where the weather's, starting to change a little bit. So he was spending a lot of time in outside garden areas
Mhm.
because, in the Virginia, Maryland area like that, a lot of that stuff is going on clearance. So that's when he'll really focus. When I was watching, at least the way I look at his videos and the way I interpret what he's doing is that, he's looking at those. He'll focus on a clearance of those type of items where he knows that, hey, in this area they're going to be getting rid of those. I can get those and still send them into Amazon because there's still plenty of the country, that needs those items.
Mhm.
So he'll do that type of stuff.
Yeah, and things like that, you really gotta already know the different areas, the different regions.
Right.
I mean, I can tell you right now that in Miami, we got like 2 weeks of winter, right?
Yeah.
But at my Home Depot, the summer stuff's already coming out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you got to be a seasoned reseller to know these kind of things about different stores and the way that they function, and they have their seasonal items and how they rotate, things like that. But yeah, you can definitely get clearance, and then sometimes you get clearance for winter in the spring. You know what I mean? So you gotta you learn these things as you go. So
Yep.
this person is definitely is a seasoned reseller.
Yeah. He's pretty good. So enough about that. But are you ready for Christmas? Are you and your wife and the rest of your family, are you ready for Christmas? Do you have all your holiday plans and everything, kind of, sort of what you're doing?
I gotta get my mom a gift. That's the only person I'm missing. My sister. I gotta get my mom and my sister a gift. I'll probably do that tomorrow. But yeah, we're ready. Going to my mother-in-law's house, and we're gonna have pork. Right? Christmas pork.
Nice.
But yeah, we're ready.
You're gonna have Cuban sandwiches
The next day.
Ooh.
Christmas Day, we're gonna have Christmas, but the 24th at night, we're gonna have pork with
See, Douglas, you cost Douglas money, man.
Hey, I apologize. I hope you get it back. Santa brings it back to you under the tree.
No, so we'll do our normal thing. I mean, we don't have any family here. We don't have any family visiting us, so we'll do what we normally do. We'll have Lisa will make a good some kind of
ham,
macaroni or something like that. On Christmas Eve. Then we'll hang out. We'll go to midnight mass, and then we'll go to the diner, the 24-hour diner, for dessert after that.
Can you say that again? The diner?
Yeah, diner. And then ever since we moved to Georgia, our one of the traditions that we do is I prepare Christmas dinner. So I prepare my 4-course or my 3-course. Lisa supplies the dessert because she's the baker. So I do the first 3 courses, and then she does the 4th course with all her baking and stuff.
Question: are you using your pellet?
I am going to. I'm doing New York strips reverse sear.
You know that the pellets are on clearance. If you look on Brickseek at Lowe's.
Damn it!
They're on clearance. What is it? Pit Boss.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to ask a friend.
It's the same thing. The same thing.
So we'll do that and stuff, and that'll be our Christmas and everything. We got took care of my mother, took care of my sister. Them being out of town, we got to get their stuff in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
So we get their stuff in the mail and everything, and it was funny. I mailed the stuff to my mom, and she's like, "Yeah, I saw your pot. I saw the box. I opened it, and I saw there was stuff wrapped inside, and I wasn't sure whether it was supposed to open it or not." So we were like, "You could do what you want to do. It's Christmas gifts, but if you want to open it right now while we're talking to you, go right ahead." And she's like, "No, I'll wait. So,
My mom took the cake with the Christmas gift. She came here yesterday, and she got me a gift card, a Home Depot gift card.
There you go. What a great lady.
$150.
There you go.
I went over there and I bought tools. I got a problem with tools. I love tools, but it was good.
Yeah. So we got that. I mean, we'll see what's going on with the holiday season. It's pretty good. It's good to relax, and I'm able to take next week off from work, so I can truly go ahead and just spend the last. John Jones, thank you. Merry Christmas to you too, sir. So that's when I'll probably do a bunch of my accounting work. On my getting my stuff together. Sister heats at her house. Oh, with the pellets. So your sister heats with the pellet stove. That's interesting. I mean, I've never. I mean, I've seen those. I've never been in a house with them. That's pretty cool. We used to in upstate New York, we had a wood burning stove insert in our fireplace and everything, and I got to the point where I was not allowed to make the fires because I'd make the house like 95 degrees. Because I'd just be so fascinated with the fire. But like, put more wood on. How much bigger can it get? Yes, getting a towel, like we just sweating so much.
Pyromaniac.
Yeah,
But
my son's that way because he's going ahead and he told us that he's going to be in charge of the fireworks show for New Year's Eve. Look at my pic. That is me, my hair, beard. Wow.
yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, Douglas.
Yeah.
Man. Santa Douglas.
He's gonna put the money under his tree for himself.
That's it.
But I gotta say something. I gotta be honest. I got really, really good feelings about 2022 for everybody. I mean, we know that a lot of things, still to be worried about. Given the current climate in our country.
Mm-hmm.
I feel positive about 2022. I think that a lot of things are overly exaggerated. Things with the economy and things like that. Some insecurities about at work, travel because of the new variant or whatnot. But honestly, I feel very positive for some reason about 2022. I think that I think if I keep on the path that I'm going, I'm going to do well, and I think that a lot of people are going to see similar paths as well. They're going to continue to grow. And, I think 2022 is going to be, kind of like a year that's I hope I'm right, that we're going to rebound from these last 2 years. Right.
Yeah. I agree. I think, I think people just, look, I think the big part is, we have to just start living life the way we are meant to live, and I understand. And I'm not talking about, being foolish and all the other kind of stuff, do what you got to do, take care of yourself, be how you feel you have to be. Right. That, don't judge other people based off of what they feel they need to do. And those people shouldn't judge you. You're you live how you want to live. I live how I want to live, and I think that's, we need to get to that point right there. I do think, like you, I think things are going to turn around. I mean, I think we just have to. We have to. I mean, we just can't, continue, down the path that we have been going. It's not healthy for a lot of people. I think when you look at, there are a lot of people who, are afraid. And I don't think we as people are meant to live afraid.
No.
In my own opinion.
No. I mean, if we think about where fear comes from, fear originates from, an insecurity, of not knowing what's going to happen, or, some type of not being able to be secure, so that's really where it originates from. And then I tend to think that um you shouldn't really worry about things that may ultimately never happen, right?
Yep.
So, you hear people talking about, the economy and then this and that. And then, it's like everybody's going to be, obviously, you do whatever you can to try to mitigate everything and do the best for your situation, try to improve. But, don't worry and stress. It's really a waste of time, worrying about, things that might never happen, So, one thing that especially this year has been for me more true than ever is that, and I'm really not in control, right? I've
Yeah.
always tried to be in control of my life and be in control of everything, but it's never been more clear to me than it has been this year specifically that God is the one that's in control. It's his will. There's not a single thing that I can do or say that's gonna override his will. And it's never been more true for me than this very year. So, I know that come
Well,
to
and you're right.
a firm realization of that. I've always believed it, but I've come to a firm realization of that this year.
Yeah. I mean, and you look, in 3 days, what you're really celebrating is, the birth of him, of Christ. And I think that's something that we have to go ahead and always remember and stuff. You know, um, I say the one thing I really learned the most out of this last year with the way things have been going on is I really, really have learned who more of my, true friends are. The ones that I could talk to, the ones that could talk to me, the ones who, who were, not like, hey, you're my friend, but, I mean, I don't think we should really, like be near each other or, those types of things and, things like that and everything. And you find out like who really was there for you. And one of the other good thing was this year, I was able to connect with some friends that I lost, connection with, able to reconnect with them and stuff. And then, bring those friendships back to where they, where they were after, being away for, for a while and stuff like that. That's the thing, that is, for me, and stuff like that. But looking forward to 2022, you know, um, it's funny. I know we're going a little bit longer, but like to kind of get back to, what we were talking about earlier, where I said about, for me, looking forward and excited to trying to get more into wholesale and more of an automated type, business. To me, I think that's, of not feet on the street all the time is because, I look at where I am at my point, in my life and everything where, working full time is, is is not what I want to, keep doing in the next few years. So to I don't want to have to stop working where I am at my 9 to 5 to then basically retire from there, but then pick up and go, hey, I could do RA, now 15 hours a day. And, 'cause I don't want to do that part. So, I mean, so I'm looking from a lifestyle. It's important for me to learn and develop a wholesale or, manufacturer model going forward for Amazon.
Yeah.
I understand the eBay part also, but I mean, I like doing the popping into a thrift store, going to a garage sale, and finding product for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From that standpoint,
Oh, yeah.
focusing there.
That's definitely, I think, a valid definitely a valid idea for 2022. I
Yeah,
mean, to me, I'm gonna expand on that. I'm gonna expand on that, and I'm gonna add to what I already had and keep doing a little bit of the same, just doing it on a larger scale, and you know, um, build up more accounts. Build up more accounts,
yeah,
and yeah, the feet on the street thing. Feet on the street thing. It can happen, but as I said, it's got to be something with amazing velocity. For me.
yeah. I mean, I want it to be more of a want than a need.
Right.
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 I want to go chase that item.
Yeah.
But if
Hmm.
I decide, I don't need to. But if I want to, I want to be able to, right? And if but I don't want to have to need to. And then figuring out how to carve out the time to do it. That's what I want to do. If I want to chase the item, that's fine. I don't want to have to get to where I need to chase the item to make the business part successful. That's where I want the wholesale distributor network type part to take care of that side. And then, like you said, the holy cow, you can't, you can't keep these in stock fast enough items. That's a want. That's a get the juices going. I'm gonna go out for the next couple of days, so on and so forth type of thing. But that's
Yeah.
gonna be more of a want than a need for me.
It's gonna be as like it's rewarding, because you gotta admit when you see things moving out like that fast with that velocity, it's rewarding. You know what I mean? You're putting in the work, but at the same time, you're actually being rewarded for the work that you're putting in, and it is a lot of work, and it is a good reward. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So it's that experience is a reward, but it shouldn't be depending on that. No one should be really just depending on that, because things can fall off all of a sudden. I've had, and I got 2 IP claims for one of those, right? Was it like a little over 2 years ago? Well, about 2 years. Yeah, 2020. It was last year. I got 2 IP claims for that one. It's a little bit over a year ago that it happened, right? For one of those. So, things can just all of a sudden, change like that. So it shouldn't be dependent on that, in my opinion. Fully dependent on that model. You can only get so far, as I said before. The limitation is going to be my capacity to source physically
Yep.
in stores. So if I'm chasing one, or as you said, 3 items is that you were looking for, your growth is going to be as far as you can do with those 3.
Right. And you got to figure one of the advantages we had before 2021, well, actually probably before 2020, up until 2020. And I don't think it's going to come back, is remember, you had, and we'll just use Walmart as an example, but you had Walmarts that stayed open till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, or 24 hours, right?
More.
So you could go, and you could hit bam, 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 right? But now it's pretty much 11 o'clock. I don't know if there's any opened up at later than that. I know in my area now it's 11 o'clock, and I don't think it's going to come back to where they'll be open till 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning anymore.
No, I mean, they probably saw that they can get everybody to come before 11. The amount of money that they're making overnight, I think they're going to cut their overhead.
Yep.
Because they're not going to have employees on the floor past that time.
Yeah.
So, and also the increase in the minimum wage in a lot of states, it's, Amazon's going to consider that. Walmart's going to consider that.
Yeah. So to your point, it was easier to push and go, hey, man, this stuff is flying. I really need to go home. But there's another store 15 minutes away, and they don't close for another hour and a half. All right, I'm going to go. You know what I'm saying? But now at least Walmart has helped us by keeping their, closing their doors at 11 o'clock. So you can only go so far and stuff like that. But
yeah.
But hey, man, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and wrap this up. I will give you the lead final word, sir.
Final words. I just want to wish everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, happy holidays all around. Hope everyone gets to spend it with their families and their loved ones, and has a great and blessed holiday season, and also prosperous new year. Going into the new year, that everything starts off on the right foot, and with lots of blessings for the new year.
Yep. Yeah, everybody, and I want to echo that. I want to say, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody. Definitely, Happy New Year if we're not on next week. Find a way to slow down over these next few days and spend time with really what's the most important thing is, with your family, with your friends, spending some time just, chilling, doing, nothing, and hanging out and just enjoying each other's company, and maybe some food, some drink, and fellowship and hanging out and everything. It's not that easy a lot of times for us to turn that part off of being on the hustle all the time, but try and find a way to do it. And again, spend time and enjoy yourselves, and gear up. Like Oscar said, we believe that 2022 there's going to be some good things coming down the road. Rejuvenate yourself, get ready, and then hit the ground running with whatever you decide. We thank all of our I'll call you fans, all the another reselling show roadies that go ahead and keep coming back each week. We've enjoyed this last year. We are looking, we're looking forward to continuing, next year, and being hanging out with you guys, talking, and we appreciate you. Let two ordinary guys, non-gurus, the only thing we are experts in is not being experts, and just letting us go ahead and talk and and interact with us. We appreciate each and every one of you. And, again, thank you very much for spending your time with us. Oscar, thanks a lot for everything, man. But I mean, not like we're not going to talk. I mean, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Enjoy the Hershey's Kisses, bro.
Thank you, bro. I have been. That's it. I'm out of sugar cookie. There's no more. I ate them all.
You won't be out long.
Oh, Jesus. All
right, everybody. Thanks a lot. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Talk to you guys later. If we're on, we'll be on Oscar's channel next week. Later.